Hi Country Changers, welcome to another webinar. This feature month we have Coolamon, which is an amazing little shire outside of Wagga Wagga. And we're joined today by Serinah Maddox. Serinah wears a few different hats. She has Maddox Group Exercise, but she's also a school teacher, but I'll get her to explain a little bit more about her life in Coolamon. Thanks for joining us, Serinah.
Thank you for having me. I'm a born and bred Coolamon girl.
Yeah, so Tom, sorry, there was a bit of a lag there. Just tell me a little bit about, who you are, and you mentioned just briefly that you're a born and bred Coolamon girl.
Yeah, all my family are here, my immediate family and extended family, and we're very close. We spend lots of time together. And I grew up here. I went to school here. Moved away for university and travelled a little bit, but I've settled back here with my husband and 3 kids. And I have a teaching position at a high school in Wagga Wagga, but I've taken leave there to work at the central school here because I also have a business. So I'm busy between, we're sort of trying to juggle everything. So, yeah, it's been good.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about we'll start firstly with your group exercise business. When did you start that, and what is it like running a business in a small community? And I guess people quite often, one of the main concerns people have is employment, trying to if they're going to relocate to a regional centre, they're concerned that they may not get a job, or if they're going to relocate a business or start a business, that there may not be enough of a desire, or need, or want to be able to sustain that. Tell me what it's like for you and how long you've run Maddox Group Exercise.
I started in 2017. It wasn't meant to be a business. It started as a hobby. I was a little bit, I shouldn't say bored, but I had an easy child, or a baby. So while I was on maternity leave, I was a little bit bored and looking for something. And I realised that my interest is obviously sport because I'm a PE teacher normally. And so I thought I could study and sort of do a little bit of personal training or group exercise on the side. And my plan was just to turn up down at the local park and I would exercise. If anyone else come along, that was good. If not, then I was just going to continue doing my thing. And the beauty, though, of this small town is that everyone got behind me. And my first winter, I pushed through and I had 2 ladies who turned up religiously. I think they were worried that I would be there by myself. But after that winter, it grew and grew, and suddenly we're probably at close to 100 members now, which in a small town I'm extremely grateful for. And even with COVID in more recent time, when we've been unable to meet at the local park where we would normally exercise, they all jumped on and did the Zooms and continued to support me. I made an effort to help them get through COVID, but I'm grateful that their support kept me going too, because when many other businesses had to shut down, particularly in my industry, I'm very grateful that I was able to keep going. So I think Coolamon has a strong sense of community, and everyone gets behind others, and they are very supportive of new businesses in town. And we're lucky that while most small towns are probably dying a little bit, or it's a little bit hard to keep the younger ones, our town seems to be growing bigger and bigger. So we have lots of new businesses starting here, from childcare centres. Coolamon Case Beans, they employ a lot of people. There are lots of industries, so I think we are lucky that we have so many employment opportunities in our small town.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that the common feedback we have from people who have made a country change or are returners like yourself is that close country community is what really stands out. And in your instance, it's what started the business and allowed you to grow really organically, and people are obviously loving what you're doing. In terms of schooling, so you are a high school teacher. What is it like growing up as a child, going through a country school, and then I guess returning as a teacher, because you would have seen, you know, both sides of that dynamic. And again, people often ask, what are the education opportunities like? People who are relocating with children. Now that you've seen both sides, how would you describe it?
I'll start with the education opportunities. We're lucky that we have the choice of schooling here. There's a small Catholic primary school, and then there's also a central school. So just the fact that we have that choice is great for a small town. In terms of going to school here myself, I think that we almost, through school, lived in a little bit of a bubble. We were really safe and we didn't realise how big the outside world was. I remember going to Wagga High and doing my first university class there and being so overwhelmed by the fact that there was over 1,000 kids there, and I come from a class in year 12 of 10. So, and that I ended up with a job at Wagga High and got used to the big school things and the way that they run. But now coming back to Coolamon Central, where I went to school myself, I'm really enjoying the sense of, again, a close-knit community. And you know the kids, you know their parents. I went to school with some of their parents, and I'm now teaching actually with some of the staff that taught me, which was a bit awkward at first, but you know, it's been really nice. And my kids are just starting school there, so and they're going to school with you know, friends, kids, you know, their same age, and it's nice to see everything sort of come full circle.
Yeah. And what do you think in terms of those, you talked about those class sizes, how do you think that changes the learning for a child? Is it, you mentioned you're able to get quite close to them, obviously, because you've got fewer children to spread your time and energy around. Do you think it enhances the education outcomes as well?
Yeah, I think it makes it more personalised. You can cater to the needs of every student, which as a teacher you do anyway, despite the class size. But it just, I think, there's a little bit more of a personal touch because you do get to know the kids so well. And it's not just the kids, it's the families, the parents, and even making the connections between whose cousins with who and how everyone ties into the community. And then you're not just seeing them in the classroom, you're refing them at touch on a Friday night, or they're running around you at touch on Friday night, or you see them at cricket, or they work in the cafe up the street. So it's not just about interacting with them at school, it is the whole community sense.
Yeah, and I think the feedback that I get from people who move from the city and experience that country classroom and country vibe with the community support and genuinely making a strong connection, not just saying hi and leaving the workforce or wherever it might be, is that's a really, it's really nurturing, and people feel really safe knowing that other people are looking out for the welfare of their children, not just physically but mentally and emotionally. And I think from a societal perspective, everything that's been going on, that is really reassuring for people to know that more people are looking out for the welfare of their kids.
100%, and I think that this school, the central school, and I'll speak from that perspective because I work there, I'm sure the other school does an excellent job too, but they are so mindful of the well-being of the students. And then you see their parents down the street and you touch base with them, and I don't mind personally if they ask questions, because we are both stakeholders in their children's future. Like, we both genuinely care, and so it does go way above teaching. We are concerned with their future and how they're feeling, and especially with COVID and how hard that's been, particularly for those rural kids who are isolated on farms. It's been tough, but we have been mindful of getting through it together, making sure they know that they can use use us as a support network.
Yeah. In terms of socially in Coolamon, what are some of the things that you have enjoyed doing since you've been back raising a young family? I think, again, one of those misconceptions that people have about moving to the country is that there's nothing to do.
Yeah, I remember being at school and everyone at the time was moving away because there was nothing to do at Coolamon. We are very lucky that, I will add that all those people have now come back, but we're very lucky that the council are very mindful and they put on lots of events like a youth festival or a youth festival. There's a late night Christmas shopping, and the businesses around town. There's the station and the care, the rustic pantry, the cheese factory. There are plenty of places to socialise. There's lots of sport opportunities. I know that with my exercise business, people come more to socialise rather than to exercise. So I don't think that it's boring here. You most definitely get everything you need. We're lucky that we are close enough to Wagga, but yeah, there's definitely enough socially that we can entertain ourselves here.
Yeah, awesome. Was there anything else that you'd like to add? Any words of advice for those who might be considering a country change to Coolamon?
Coolamon is a little bit lucky in that we are close to Wagga, and so we have access to those bigger facilities that come with a city. However, the lifestyle that Coolamon offers is just incredible, and it's where I'm raising my family, and I know that other young people are moving to the area because they can access Wagga but still have that country lifestyle where everyone knows everyone. You can walk down the street, shouldn't say it, but you probably leave your house unlocked and things like that. Everyone's very welcoming, and we're very excited that the town is growing, and there are lots of opportunities here, both in terms of schooling, employment, and yeah, I'm really excited to see the growth of the town.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, it's really diverse. The Riverina is superbly diverse, and everything is at your fingertips, whether it be a trip into Wagga or within your own town, or just being connected from a community perspective. And like we touched on earlier with your business, there are lots of business opportunities, and the fact that the community is so supportive of that, you know, that they're the ingredients for success. So thank you so much for your time, Serinah, and sharing your returner journey.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.